When this young woman marries an older man to escape her struggles, she never expects to fall for the one person she shouldn't, her husband's son. A story that starts with a happy family soon descends into chaos when her husband is sent music to prison, leaving her vulnerable to a forbidden bond that goes out of control and turns into a mixture of love, guilt, and betrayal that will haunt them forever. The movie opens with Fosco, a rugged truck driver and business owner who has just married a much younger woman named Anna. To his family, this sudden marriage feels suspicious, and they believe Anna only married Fosco for his money, especially since she already has a little daughter, Santina, to care for. But not everyone is cold toward her. Foss's kind-hearted sister, Fernanda, welcomes Anna warmly and even offers to watch Santina for a few days so that the couple can enjoy their honeymoon. During the family photo, however, Foss's son, Music, Livio, stands uneasily in the background as it appears to him that Anna isn't a new beginning for him and his father, but rather she'll be just a painful reminder of his late mother. After the celebrations, just as Fosco and Anna are about to leave for their honeymoon, one of Foss's friends suddenly shows up, and without hesitation, Fosco leaves with him as he promises Anna that he will be back soon. While he's gone, Livio enters the house to change clothes, and in an attempt to connect with him, Anna asks what kind of gift, music, he'd like for them to bring for him. Livio smiles faintly as he tells her that he'd prefer if they could simply get along better. Meanwhile, Fosco and his friend are up to no good as they engage in illegal activity of breaking music into old tombs in search of hidden valuables. But that night, they barely escape the police, and he eventually makes it home, Music, by nightfall. Since it was already too late to travel that night, Fosco spends time with Anna before embarking on their journey the next day. Days later, as Livio spends time with his friends at the beach, Stella, a shy girl who has a crush on him, secretly leaves a note on his scooter, and when they see it, Livio's friends laugh her off as they joke that she's immature and not like other girls. When Fosco and Anna eventually return home, little Santina runs to her mother with joy, and later on, Anna gives Fernanda a small thank you gift, but admits she still doesn't fully understand her husband yet. Foss, on the other hand, brings a souvenir for his son, though their relationship remains strained. Later on, while the two were unloading the truck for work, Fosco makes a cruel comment about Livio's late mother. This makes the boy snap, and Anna witnesses the tension. Moments later, she gently tells Fosco that he's being unfair to his son, but instead of finding a way to resolve the issue, Fosco Music simply laughs it off as he promises to do better. In the meantime, Anna's charm soon wins everyone over. However, she still faces quiet judgment, especially Music from Stella, who eyes her with jealousy, and Uncle Umberto, who insists that she's only after Foss's money. Although she tries to bridge her relationship with Livio, Music, he doesn't seem to be ready just yet for a new mother, and Anna completely understands his position. One evening, Fosco surprises his family by coming home early, and they all decide to go out to dinner, where Fosco mentions that a wealthy man wants Livio to marry his daughter, a deal he strongly opposes because of the man's shady business dealings. Meanwhile, it becomes obvious that everyone in town truly admires Anna's beauty. Over time, Music, little Santina begins to feel at home with both Fosco and Livio, and one quiet afternoon, as Livio tries to talk to Anna, he asks what love truly means. She simply smiles and says, "Love is romance." But Livio shakes his head as he tells her that to him, love is pain. Foss eventually joins them as he tries to invite his son to join him to go to town for that afternoon, but Livio declines, and when Foss eventually arrives with Anna, Uncle Umberto sees them, and while watching them from afar, he shakes his head and tells Livio, who was currently with him, that his father only enjoys being seen in public, Music, with a much younger wife. After returning home, Fosco drops Anna off at home, but instead of resting, he heads out again with his friends to raid another tomb. This time, they strike gold as they find real ancient artifacts. Excited by the discovery, Fosco plans to sell them to collectors and make a fortune. However, he warns his friends to keep everything a secret. But by morning, that secret had already been exposed as Santina and her young friends excitedly asked to see the treasure. Frustrated at how people found out about his treasure, Fosco turns to Anna as he demands to know how her daughter found out. However, Anna insists it must have been by accident. Maybe the girl overheard their conversation. But Fosco wouldn't settle for this, and things even escalate more when Livio confronts his father, calling him a hypocrite for claiming to love his country while stealing its treasures to sell overseas. The argument grows heated until Livio storms away from the table, and even though Anna tries to calm him with food, he aggressively rejects it and asks to be left alone. That evening, as the couple turn in for the night, Anna urges Fosco to make peace with his son, something to which he reluctantly agrees. The next day, Livio's friends tease him again when they see Stella watching them from a distance. Later that evening, Livio tries to start a conversation with Anna as he asks her about her first love. That is when she admits that she had once been in love with her cousin, who later moved abroad, and this left Livio surprised. Then, the following afternoon, while Anna and the neighborhood women are playing around, splashing water at each other, she accidentally splashes Livio, who eventually joins in, chasing her playfully and hugging her tightly as the women laugh and tease him. But they soon receive bad news later that evening when a group of worried neighbors rushes over to inform Anna that the police, music, have arrested Fosco. So Anna and Livio hurry to the station where Fosco tries to reassure them as he promised that he'll be out in a few days. However, Anna soon discovers that his friends had already turned their backs on him and were unwilling to help as they were too afraid to get involved. Days pass, and Fosco remains behind bars, and when Anna visits again, he admits that he had actually hit a police officer during his arrest. However, he tells her not to lose hope, promising that he'll fix everything soon. When Anna returns home, she's surprised to find the family celebrating Livio's birthday despite the chaos, and when she shares her concern to Fernanda, her sister-in-law simply repeats her brother's words that everything will be fine. Eventually, Anna calms down and she even helps Livio fold laundry that night, and the two share a quiet, comforting moment until Stella shows up to wish Livio a happy birthday. By morning, Livio eventually learns the truth, that it was Umberto who had revealed Foss's secret dealings, and that was the reason for his arrest. On his way home, Livio spots Anna speaking with a strange man, and when he asks her about the man, Anna tells him that the man is working to get Fosco released. But Livio doesn't seem happy, because deep down he believes his father deserves whatever is happening to him. That evening, Anna finds Livio sitting alone on a bench outside, visibly upset. And when she gently approaches him, Livio suddenly hugs her and he tells her that he is scared and worried. The next day, while working with the women, Anna enters the house to take some bottles for her work. Livio is inside the house too, as she sees him rubbing his eye. When she eventually offers to help him, Livio suddenly leans in and kisses her, leaving Anna in shock and confusion as she quickly runs out, completely forgetting about the bottles. When Livio tries to talk about what happened, Anna firmly tells him to forget that it ever occurred. But the moment continues to linger in his mind, and that night he knocks on her door to let him in, but she refuses, fearing what will happen. By morning, Anna eventually decides to give him an ultimatum that he can either choose to control himself or leave the house. But Livio doesn't stop as he starts sending notes to Anna through her daughter. Furious, Anna confronts him that evening in the garage as she tells him that he must go to stay with his uncle until his father returns home. But instead of leaving, Livio accuses Anna of being too afraid to confess her love for him. Enraged by the accusation and in an attempt to save face, she slaps Livio. But Livio still doesn't want to leave that night, and to keep himself occupied, he goes with his friends to steal a foosball table from a bar and drag it to the beach where they hang out and play all night. And in an attempt to cheer him up, one of his friends goes to tell Stella that Livio is at the beach. So she quickly rushes over and tries to talk to him, but Livio ignores her completely as his mind is still on Anna, totally drunk and unconscious of himself. Livio eventually breaks into the house, waking Anna up from sleep. And once again, when she sees him, he confesses his love for her. Although Anna tries to calm him, Livio breaks down in tears, and not knowing what else to do, Anna eventually admits that she feels something for him too. This broke the barrier between them, as the two shared a forbidden, intimate moment together. The next day, when Anna visits Fos in prison, he tells her that he's been reflecting on his mistakes, especially his failures as a father. This leaves Anna uneasy and filled with guilt as she tries to hide her distress. Fos notices this and gently tells her it's okay to cry and that he understands her fear and pain. When she returns home, Livio embraces Anna again as he starts to kiss her passionately until they suddenly find that Stella is secretly hiding in a wardrobe watching them. When they eventually discover this, Anna is left in panic, but Livio reassures her that since Stella isn't mentally stable, no one will believe her. Surprisingly, this seems to calm Anna down as she lets herself fall back into his arms once more. The next morning, Fernanda arrives with good news that Fos will be released tomorrow. This leaves Anna overwhelmed with guilt until she breaks down and decides to confess everything to her. Fernanda is left horrified. However, she warns Anna to stay silent as she knows that the truth could destroy everything about the family. So, by the next day, the family gathers joyfully to welcome Fos home. There was a big celebration, however. Fos quietly slips away to the beach as he desires to have a moment alone to feel his freedom again. But just as he begins to relax, Stella appears and asks him for a few minutes of his time to discuss something very important. And when he returns back to the party, Fosco notices the uneasy expressions on his wife and sister's faces, but he keeps celebrating as if nothing's wrong. In the end, Anna and Livio help a drunk Fos back home and put him to bed, and for the first time in years, the man finally opens up to his son as he admits that he loves him deeply and apologizes for the pain that he's caused him. Then he offers Livio a role in the family business as he promises to buy him a new truck as well. On hearing these words, Livio feels for the first time a real connection with his father. Later on, Livio eventually pleads with Anna to take care of Fos as he tells her that he has decided to join the army. Unable to bear her guilt anymore, Anna confesses her betrayal to her husband. But surprisingly, Fos remains calm and instead decides to be close to her that night. And towards the end of the movie, we see that after several months, Livio has returned from the military with his new fiancée, Antonella. And as the family gathers once more around a large table to celebrate, Livio and Anna exchange a secret, longing glances, which Fos notices, and his cheerful face darkens with quiet fury. Then, as they set up for the family photo, we see that the entire family have a tense, distant smile on their faces, all with a story to tell. And that is the recap of the movie The Second Wife. If you love this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment for us. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.